I thought the Rutgers game was a little bit of a defining moment in our season here early. I thought our preparation leading up to that game was maybe the best we've ever had here. Our intensity, our focus, our attention to detail. Very, very hostile crowd. It was loud. I mean, they cut it to 16 on a layup, and I thought they won the national championship. I mean, their fans were right there and intense. Our guys handled that, and thought we had we did what we needed to do there, and so I was excited about that. Obviously, the Florida Atlantic game, it was a completely different game. High possessions, their system, what they do defensively has been elite. It's very similar to ours, playing the way they play, and you have to beat them one-on-one. I thought that they're one of the best teams in the country at not giving assists to field goals, so they don't let you run stuff. They're connected in their switches, and we just I thought we exploited them. I thought we did some really good things. I felt like we guarded them very well, and they made hard shots. I think they were 10 of 17 in twos outside the paint. We were 11 of 16. Those are very rare numbers. And they made hard shots. We made some tough shots. And obviously, having two guys and then score over 30 was kind of a unique experience. But again, it was a high-scoring game. And again, I thought both teams guarded very well. We just made hard shots, and the one downside in that was I didn't think we rebounded very well, especially from our perimeter spots, and that has to be better as we go into Knoxville for tomorrow's game. So all in all, those two were positives. We get to end the week against the SEC favorite, a team that a lot of people think can win a national championship. After watching film, I agree. They're very good. Rick's teams are extremely tough. This is an extremely physical team in terms of what they do in the gaps, what they do with their rakes, and in terms of playing on balls. They're a team that hit the portal, and the Connect kid has been just short of outstanding. Gainey has been great, giving them some offensive punch, along with Vescovi, James, Ziegler, all guys that we've heard about. So we've got to play, discipline. We've got to play strong. We've got to play tough. We've got to play physical. We've got to do a much better job on the glass than we did in the last one. And then we've got to hold our composure in a very big facility, big arena, sellout crowd. We've got to make sure we take the crowd out of it.
Brad, how has Terrence elevated his game so far this year, and how do you see him kind of carrying that forward?
Yeah, he's done what a mature older player should do. He's stepped up to the challenge. We've really challenged him with guarding the other team's best player. That's something he relishes. He looks forward to that. He's worked so hard in the off season at different facets of his game. It's great to see those things paying off. You look at his three-point shooting numbers. He's been elite. His mid-range is much better. So it's something that it's nice to see him rewarded for all the hard work he's put in. But I just think he's more comfortable, and with that comes confidence, and we're the beneficiary of that.
Marcus said that Terrence had been on him to be more aggressive. What does that say about how Terrence is leading the team?
Yeah, again, comfort. Knowing we need him. I've never worried too much about Marcus. I think it's sometimes better to have to find your own way than to try to force him into things. He works so hard. He's constantly in the gym, and you just can't force those things with him. He was going to find his spots, you know, we're not doing a ton drastically different. He's just kind of found it, and it's happened organically, and that's something that's been nice to see. And you know, Terrence knows we need his punch. He sees it every day in practice, and an aggressive Marcus is a good thing for us.
You see that Rutgers game is kind of a defining moment. Can you elaborate on that? Like, what's that maybe a couple days stretch of the preparation of the game tell you or define about this team?
Well, first of all, it was our first road game, which was a little scary, having it be a game one in the RAC, and two, you know, a conference game. So you don't know how your team's going to react, and there's always a little apprehension as a coach, you know, as to, okay, what is this team? You hope because we're older that we're going to handle that moment, but again, we were focused, we were committed. Our practices were very matter of fact, and that paid off. And that environment didn't bother them. That anything the opponent threw at us didn't bother us. You know, we had a tough start. It was kind of an ugly start for both teams, but you know, once we settled in, we were terrific. So I was very upbeat about that.
What kind of confidence does that give you going into Tennessee, which is going to be probably a pretty
more than had we lost. You know, I think it's you know, it's the next challenge. It's a different team. I don't try to take a ton from one game to the next. Every game's got its own identity. But I do think that knowing that we've won on the road, it's something that our program's been built on, is trying to win on the road. And this is the next great challenge. And believe me, it's a great challenge to go there and play and face a Rick Barnes team that's perennially been in the top 20. So you know, we've got to have some confidence knowing we did it at Rutgers, but you know, with a new opponent, new venue, it's a new challenge.
Which they've had a few issues defending the rim without fouling, especially against Carolina. Is this a game where you want to, push the ball into the paint, whether it's post-ups or drives?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to do what we do. I think it's there's some things. I think the Carolina game was a little bit of unique for them. I don't make a big play on that because they were coming back from Maui. It's a road game coming back from that trip, and that's usually a death sentence, no matter what you do. And yet they fought like crazy from 24-5 down and made that a game late. And they're a different team in that they don't have a tremendous amount of physicality in the paint compared to what they did last year. But they're still very physical. They make it very tough to get the ball in the paint, and we'll have to take our opportunities when they're there.
What's important maybe in terms of carryover from your last two wins, just to maintain what you were able to do in two big games and a third?
Well, like I said, I think we've guarded great. It didn't show it. I mean, Florida Atlantic had a 1.1. We had a DER 1.1, which is very high. But we're a top 10 defensive team. I think defense wins and has to travel. Toughness, I think we're growing in the toughness area. I love the fact that Coleman stepped up and made a three with the game on the line and 2 free throws. And I mean, that's what seniors do. That's what veterans do. That's toughness. Those are execution things. The 2 biggest plays of that game. One was real early in the midway through the second half. Ty gets an offensive rebound when he runs in from almost half court and tips it to Marcus for a layup. And then Coleman's offensive rebound, at the end of the game where it's a foul. Those are huge plays. Those are toughness plays. Those are things that this group has to keep carrying over, keep building on. We've got to keep working on eliminating our turnovers. We've got some silly turnovers, but again, it's I didn't feel near as bad about our turnovers in the Florida Atlantic game just because it was a higher possession game.
Justin hit some big threes on Tuesday. How important is his role going forward, especially offensive punch and just everything that he does?
Yeah, Justin's again a guy that We don't run a lot of stuff too, and yet he is a great spacer. He's a great driver of the ball downhill. He's a guy that, every time he shoots it, I think it's going in. And, I have a lot of confidence in defensively. I thought he had a couple ticky-tack fouls that I didn't care for in the Florida Atlantic game, but, I've said it since the Spain trip, the ball finds him, and he's always got a knack of being around the ball and making plays. And, he's becoming more and more comfortable with what we do. And like I said, it's, in a game the other night where, Marcus was dominating the ball and spacing the floor was vital. He was a pretty good floor spacer. He had some, if he makes the layup at the end of the half, he's got a 12-point night and very efficient.
What's been the process for him of settling into that role, maybe where he did have a lot of stuff going through him in the past, and now he's maybe embracing a different role?
Yeah, I think he understands the importance of winning, first of all. I think he understands that, this is, with junior college, with Utah Valley, it's another system, it's new. I think it's just being comfortable. I think it's different terminology, me asking different things of him, and just a little patience and a little time. And he just works so hard, and he hasn't got frustrated with any of that process. He's stayed very committed, dedicated to his routines, and as this continues to go, he's gaining confidence, and I'm gaining confidence in it.
He got a little banged up a couple of games ago, but Dalton Connect, what's the challenge of him for your guys in the perimeter?
Yeah, Dalton's unique because he's got great size, he's got great perimeter skills and ball skills. He's an elite three-point shooter, and yet he's vertically as gifted an athlete as there is. I mean, he plays way above the rim. He's electric in transition. They're posting him. They're bringing him off screens. You can't rest with him. He's got the ultimate green light, and I thought they were down in the North Carolina game big, and they just went to him, and he literally just threw him on his back, and he was good in the George Mason game, their last game, and I expect him to be at 100% for tomorrow. But you've got to make him play both ends of the court. You can't just let him play offense, and we've got to do our job with him, and it's a challenge, and he's a pro for a reason.
What's Nico's status, and how's he progressing?
He had a good week being at home, being able to get in all the recovery deals, and trainers told me he's doing great. He won't play, but he's gaining on it, and rehab's going great.
They have kind of a smallish point guard. Is that a unique matchup for your lineup?
He's different. I don't look at him as a small guard. I look at him as a pest. He's terrific. He's been around. He's a very good shooter. He's in my opinion, is the key to their team. He facilitates offense for them. He's very difficult to get screened. He's over the top of every screen. He's blowing up handoffs. He's a Rick Barnes ultimate guy in terms of his toughness. And it doesn't matter, really what size he is. He's a guy that plays extremely hard, and he's embodied Rick's toughness. And I've seen teams try to post him, and he holds up just fine in the post. So he's a very tough kid, and he's a really good player.
Have you been able to, schedule these home and homes with Arizona and now Tennessee? I mean, are those easy games to get, or do you have to work at it to get these high-level games?
It takes a willing partner. There's no doubt. They're not easy to find. We live in a world today where there's so many neutral site events, and I don't want to use the word old school, but I love on-campus games, and I think they're the benefit for our fans, for the students, and it just creates a different buzz, a different excitement. And I'm not anti-neutral site. I just like the fact that You know, we're going to Knoxville, Tennessee, and we're going to play in their building, and next year they're going to come to our building, and it's a great opponent, it's a great game, it's high level, and I do think they prepare you for conference games. We went to a sold out venue in Tucson, we got one tomorrow, national television. These games prepare you, in my opinion, the adversity, the animosity, the pride that they have, and you know, it's different playing in the Garden. The arena was, you know, neutral, you know, so to speak, and now it's going to be everybody against us, and I thrive on those things, and I think that helps prepare you, and I think it helps your team, but most of all, I think it's great for college basketball and the fans.
Who gets to wear orange?
I think that's a good question. I don't know what we're wearing tomorrow. One of us will be in orange, a little different shades, but there'll be a lot of orange present in the building. Thanks, guys.
That's good.